Well, thank you, ladies, for coming today. So this is our first year done like a Mother's Day self-defense. We're super excited to have you all here. We're going to show you some basic fundamental principles that we're going to do to help you prevent if you're ever attacked in a circumstance like that. And obviously, I'm Ian Lashley. This is my dad, Dave Lashley. Now we'll start off with a little bit of awareness talk as well too, some basics to help avoid situations. So we hope that this is super beneficial for you. You can take some skills and knowledge that if you ever have to use them, so you can take them and have that in your tool belt now to use them if ever needed. So if you have any questions at all when we're showing something, feel free to please ask us or let us know. We'll do whatever we can to help you and help you obtain the knowledge, whatever you need to do for whatever question you have that you're asking about as well. So once again, just thank you, ladies, for coming in today. We appreciate you taking your Saturday morning, coming in and train with us. So thank you.
Yes, thanks for coming. He said, my name's David. What I like to basically, I'll give you like a little rundown to what we'll do today. We're going to go over a little, like you said, avoidance, awareness. Then we'll go into some simple strikes. Then I'll go into some escapes from, and I like to refer to as strangulations. The number one attack towards women, most generally, is some form of strangulation. And I even speak for a little bit of experience. My full-time job, if most of you don't know, I'm the Common Pleas Court bailiff for Judge Richard Wetzel and the Director of Security of the courthouses, the courthouse there here in Knox County. So I've sat in tens of thousands of hearings, a lot of domestic violence hearings, a lot of civil protection hearings. So I take those experiences that I've learned and listened to, and it is true, the statistics are that most women deal with some form of strangulation. And the second statistic is 70+% you know your attacker in some way, shape, or form. If it's just an acquaintance that you work with, to it could be a family member, friend, you're unexpected, but most generally you do know your attacker. It's not as likely, like I said, if it's like that we all see in the movies, that white panel van pulls up, opens up the door, grabs someone and take them. Not that that can't happen, but most generally do, which that's why the awareness part in all aspects of self-defense is really, to me, the most important thing. If we better, then obviously you have to use one of the techniques that I'm going to show you today with it. And awareness, I like to keep it, pretty simplistic with it. There's a lot of great information out there, but an acronym that I like to use is SLAM. You stop, look, assess, and move. And to me, it's that simple. And what I mean by stop, we're looking at the area that we're entering or exiting with it. We're looking. We're assessing. Is there something wrong, something not right, something bad? And then we have to make some type of movement. If it's a movement of action to be physical or a movement of action to leave. And to me, it's a lot like us driving a car. Once you start looking at it like that, no one thinks about what they're doing. Usually you just do it. You just get it behind the wheel, the traffic laws, you're paying attention to everything around you. It's just like it's second nature. And that's what I kind of like people want to do when it comes to awareness. Just take your time, stop, look, assess, and make a decision what to do. But what makes it much easier in today's society for that to happen is the dreaded cell phone. The cell phone kind of hinders all those things that we're talking about to get that accomplished. And that's it, something like that, being distracted. And it could be anything. You have your children with you, you're trying to keep them from getting into things or whatever. There's a lot of distractions today is what I'm getting at. So when we can eliminate distractions when we're out and paying attention to what's in front of us, it becomes much safer with us. And what also happens, I think, because of Knox County, I really believe in Knox County, it's a pretty good community. It's a pretty safe community. So the safer, more comfortable we feel, we also put our guard down. And I think about it like when we come in without anybody looking, most of you might know, but what color shirt did the mannequin have in? You can't answer. because I asked this question the last. That when you came in, what color shirt did the mannequin have when you came in? Anybody remember? Gray. Some of you, some yes, some will see. But what come in all the time, and most people would know where our TV is to watch things. What don't? And the reason I say that is when we don't think about those things, something we walk by, because you're kind of comfortable. You're kind of you know the atmosphere you're getting into. It's relaxed. We have a tendency to put our guard down. So when we start going to like the malls, places we're familiar with, Walmart and stuff like that, we kind of put our guards down a little bit. And I'm not telling you you should get out of your car and be, like this. So if you let people know that I'm alert and ready, that's not what I'm saying at all. I just like keeping your head up, and that starts that also that confidence in yourself. It lets the people know around you that you're paying attention, even if you're not. Your head's up, and it looks like you're staring and looking at them and stuff like that. But it is important to stay upright and stuff like that. So just keep in mind some real simple. I mean, I don't want to belabor it, but when it comes to just taking the time to look at the surroundings around you, and if something doesn't feel right, trust that inner gut, trust that instinct with it. And I think that's important. We have a tendency not to do that. And once again, and I think the reason behind it is because you're good people. Good people are always wanting the best. They're always wanting people to do the right thing. So it's easy for us to, and we've all, I'm sure, been taught to be polite, respectful towards others, have good manners, and there's nothing wrong with that. But because of that, it helps us sometimes not wanting to go, my stomach said, there's something not right here. There's something, it makes me feel uncomfortable. You need to trust it. I always tell a simple story. I was back doing a trial, and we got done, and it was a manslaughter, vehicle manslaughter, something. It was a real kind of a violent hearing. Went on for a few days, and I'm leaving. It was late night after the jury deliberated, and I felt like somebody was following me. And I'm like, wow, that's odd. I kept turning like they tell you to do and all that. So I call the guy that was with me, one of the deputies that was helping me, and I'm like, Grant, I think somebody's following me. He's like, what? Somebody's following you? And he's like, just, hey, you're getting close. Just turn to the sheriff's office. Yeah. If they're foolish enough to follow you into the sheriff's office parking lot, it's not going to be good. So I did. I whip in because that's my way towards home. This car keeps going, makes a left-hand turn, kind of looks like he went towards the Bob Evans area. And I was like, man, he left. And he just started laughing. He goes, I didn't think so. So the worst case scenario that night, I made someone laugh. So I trusted my instinct. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But it was easy enough to find that out and do that. So always trust those instincts that you've been given. I think it's very, very important with that. So any questions so far with it? So between looking at something like our surroundings and then trusting our instincts, the whole ideal for us to do that is if we avoid something that keeps us safe. I always talk about at the courthouse. Anybody been to the courthouse? Common Police Courthouse. So I like to use that because everybody, when you get to the front of the courthouse, every day, I hate the steps. These steps are awful. Boys, they're an easier way. So what people don't realize during all the summer activities at the Memorial Building, the courthouse parking lot is a very typical place for people to park. And I've experienced it by being part of security at the Memorial Building for those events, to watching it on video just because of my curiosity, because we have cameras everywhere at the courthouse. And it awes me at 11 o'clock at night how many people will walk that alleyway, dark alleyway, hardly lit, instead of walking up those courthouse steps because they don't like those courthouse steps. So our decision making, because of something that might make us feel a little inconvenient, that's what stuff like that is usually where we need to step back and go, maybe I should try to find a different place to park if I don't want to walk those steps. But to compromise our safety because maybe a little inconvenience, that's what we don't want to do. Another scenario is like I think about people worried about going to an ATM, stuff like that. ATM could be in a certain area that you're like, this is kind of a sketchy, but it's quicker. In our community, you can drive within seconds to find another ATM somewhere. Maybe you have to pay that extra dollar fee, but it's at nighttime. It's not a good, I should go to the next place and stuff like that. So just stuff to think about with it. You add that in, and it's some basic in our minds that if we can add these safety and help avoid something, it'll be better in the long run. So what we're going to get into is now our basic stance when we are being approached by someone. So most generally, I tell everybody, if whatever hand that you write with is the hand that should drop back, all right? I believe in a lot of power when it comes to if we have to hit somebody. And the most generally rule is if I get into a stance that I've bladed back a little bit, I'm right-handed, so I want to throw my right hand at areas as much as I can, as hard as I can hit somebody. Once again, if you're left, and you drop back your left with it. But what I want you to get to now, if you're not used to it, is when I step back into my stance. And when I step back, I'm not telling you to step back into the karate stance, like if that works and they run, that's great. But we're not going to take a chance. That's what's going to happen with it. I'm just stepping back and my hands come up. I want to start talking with my hands. This is the time where the hands being up, that yes, I can protect myself. I'm closer to my target if I need to strike. But it's also a sign when I'm looking at Ian, like, stop. I've put my wall up. I'm getting my boundaries now. And that's important. They need to know that they can't get any closer. It's because of my hands. And I just and if I have to go to more of a defensive stance, like, hey, can I help you? I'll put my hands up like that. I'm polite when I do stuff like that. Every day I will say, can I help you? Stuff like that when people get close to me. And I don't step back. I make them step back. I want them to start learning that they need to comply or get out of my safe zone. I shouldn't have to get out of my own safe zone. All right. So when I'm up, I'm just going to put my hands up and can I help you? And if I always see how Ian's starting to stand, I already know that he's right-handed because he's just bladed just a little bit with that. So knowing that I'm stepping what we call off center line or off the X, think of it right down the body. I don't want to be here. I want to just step off just a little bit with it. If it's neutral, then you kind of can pick one. But majority of the people in this country are right-handed. So statistically, I would always step off a little bit. And once it's in, I'm not stepping off like I'm running away. I'm like, hey, can I help you? And my hands are up and I'm just stepping off a little bit and I'm getting here. I don't care if you want to get like this, but the thing that it's either hands in front, this is fine. But this is not as good. This isn't good. This isn't good. And most generally, if you think about it, when we start dropping our hands, the next thing we start to drop is our eyes and our head. And you don't realize what you're giving off the signals right at this point. Like, hey, can I help you? If he's an aggressive attacker, you already, as they say, the lion's looking for the gazelle. You're becoming a gazelle pretty quick because you're starting to drop your hands. You're dropping your head. Your confidence levels are starting to lower. All right. So with the partner, all I want you to do is just like I said, you're talking to one another. Hands are just coming up, and you're just kind of stepping off to the side and just some small chatter with one another. Woo-tie! Here we go. Ronda Rousey. Pretty simple. So the next thing we want to start thinking about is with my hands back, my hands up, we're talking. I just start with 3 basic strike zones, all right? Eyes, throat, groin. Yes, you can hit, punch in a lot of different areas, but the 3 main targets is your eyes, throat, and groin area. That will, right from the get-go, when you're looking to target those, if you have an improvised weapon or a weapon of any sort, that's where you're going to do your most damage. All right? So when I'm in front, most generally when I'm looking, I like to, a lot of times when I'm looking at these areas, my hands stay open. If I want a palm strike, it's a little bit easier on the hands. I don't care if you punch, obviously. To me, it's very natural to keep a closed fist. But the reason I talk about open hand is not just because of it being safer on your strikes, but open hand when I want to put my thumb in his eyes. I want to put my fingers in his eyes. If I open hand, I know we always hear the, hey, let's just punch him in the throat. Yeah, that's awesome. But it is much easier to hit someone in the throat with an open hand than it is with a closed fist. When I step to the side, when I want to strike to the groin, Ian's wearing a cup, so I'm going to hit extremely hard here in a second. But I want an open hand. Punching someone there, I'm not saying you cannot do damage. It will do damage, but I want to incapacitate them. When I hit someone in the eyes hard, throat hard, groin hard, we hope it's one and done, and we can. That's what we should be thinking. If I can hit them once there and it stops them, that's what we want. So the best way for to get that in their groin is have an open hand. I want to strike where it's hitting behind the groin area, not in front of the groin area with it. So once again, the open hand with it. And a lot of times in class, if I have a tendency, you might hear me say, hey, ring the bell. That's what I'm talking about, ringing a bell. We wouldn't ring a bell, with our fist. We got an open hand when we do it, all right? So all I want you to do real quick before we get into maybe using some pads or something is I want you to be hands or be up. I want you to talk to your hands. You're going to step to the side, and I just want you to think about get close to your partner. I don't actually want anybody to thumb the eyes. Hitting the groin shot. And that's all you're doing. Stepping off to the side, thumb, open hand, and strike with it, with that open hand on it. Okay? So real quick, just go both sides, open hand, target those 3 areas specifically.
This is your fucking
Okay.
You can have him hit the
This is, I've dumbed it down to these 3 strikes for this.
Yeah.
We'll do punch in the head because that's just natural for people to do.
Right.
Yes. Good. Good. So to add to it, and also it was a good question, what happens, like I told you to put your right hand back. It was a good question. We're going to add and build on that. The main focus for me when I want your strength back, your strong arm back, is if I got one opportunity, I'm sitting here and I've said back up. I got it one chance to hit him. I want my strongest into it when I got that one opportunity maybe to knock him out with it. If I'm back and Ian's opposite and he's a lefty, like here, yeah, I don't care what hand when it comes to these 3 targets, what we hit with, all right? I just like my power back. If I have to really do something, I had that one opportunity. I only get one. I want my body weight and my strength exploding into it. So the next thing is when I come up, this is why this is like, most of you've probably never heard this, but when I'm being attacked by someone or I'm getting on the offense and I'm going for his eyes, I'm going through his throat. I'm going for the groin area. It is okay, and I prefer you latch onto him. Get a grip, all right? If I want to cause damage, I'm here. But he's trying to get away from me now. He's not getting away. He's not getting away. I'm latching onto him. If I have a tactical pen, tactical flashlight, which I'm a big fan of, or a knife, I can't stab him if he's backing up, can I? But if I got this and I have my weapon, I can have this. I can have this. It doesn't make a difference what you grab a hold of. Right there, yes.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So, and this may sound really dumb, and I don't know if any of you guys were thinking about this, but what if my attacker is a woman? Does the groin hit stop her?
100%.
Okay, because I've never been hit. Before.
Yes.
It's never
It's good.
happened to me,
No.
so I don't know if that actually works.
It's a good question. Now,
It's like all about that.
yes,
Chicks can eat us up too.
those three areas, no matter what, are our three most sensitive areas on the body at the end of the day, outwardly that we see. So, yes, it will. Maybe it might not have the same effect. Maybe, I mean, it might hit harder, drop them harder or something. But no, it will have the same effect. Yes, it will with it. Now, you got to remember this attack, when you're being attacked, my objective is what? It's not at the end of the day go, winner in the corner. No. Yes. We're not winners. We're not losers. We're survivors. And that's what you have to remember. You're here to survive. You're here to get home, not to see if I'm the next Ronda Rousey or Mike Tyson or something, with it. That's what we must remember that. I'm trying to create space to get away and get to safety with it. So all I want you to do now, before we go to hitting some pads, is you're back here talking. You're telling them, hey, I said get away. I've decided to strike the throat, eye, or groin. I don't care what you pick, but I want you to grip a hold of something, latch onto it. And it could be any way. I can grab the back of his neck, putting my thumb in the eye. I can grab his shirt. I can grab his hand. He has to posture away to get away. I'm looking to attack. I can grip. I can grip. I can grip. I tell you, the ear is probably one of the worst. Yeah. Hair. So, go ahead and do it. That was good. I was. We got three vital areas. We latch on if we had an opportunity to strike. This becomes really effective, like I said, if you have some type of improvised weapon, you can be picking up that you see around, or if you're carrying a particular weapon, like knives or anything like that. Just to give you a little quick spiel on weapons, if you're carrying pepper spray, knives, anything, remember anything you have can also become their weapon. So I think it's important that no matter what you pick or choose, that you use it some. You get out and practice it. Pepper spray, I think it's a great tool, but the thing that kills me is you can get pepper spray, $7-8 a canister? So pick up 2. Go get a paper plate, put it out in your backyard, spray it a couple times. Be familiar with it. See how, if it's a mist to a foam, understand and see if you will only one time know if you sprayed it in the wind and it comes back in your face. It is a lesson very well learned. But that's important the thing with pepper spray, I say if you're going to buy it, only one I really think you should get is the kind that has your finger that gets in that latch. Uh, when I was a lot younger, and I did have hair, and I lived in the '80s, and you grab the hairspray, and you think that it's going the way it's supposed to be going. I sprays you in the face or something, or the spritzer, you know. So that's the thing you don't want to do with pepper spray. So
I don't know how much experience you have with hair.
it's been 40 years, but that's all I say. Stuff like that. Also with pepper spray, another thing, think out of the box with it. This was taught to me very early, and my tactics was, if you think you're going to be attacked, you have pepper spray, you're not for sure, or you want to be added so another line of safety, spray it on your hand first. So if they do get by it, you can now rub it on their face and stuff like that with it. So it's another tool with it. But like I said, if you have knives, just get comfortable gripping it. If it's a folder somewhat, get comfortable trying to flip it. You don't want to realize that the day that you need it, you can't get it out because you've never tried it. If you're struggling pulling a folder out to open it up with zero under stress, that's a real tell sign. All right, think about that with it. So that might not be the tool for you if you're struggling with it. I'm a fan of the tactical flashlight. It was, and feel free to ask him questions about it. Lieutenant Craig Feeney showed me one of his a few years back, and I was just at awe on, like, we were literally like this right now, broad daylight. He put that thing in my eyes. I couldn't see for every bit of 4 or 5 seconds, and then the spots after the fact. And what I liked about that was remember, we're just trying to get away. Or if I have to hit, really got me was when I went to a concert with my wife a year or two ago at Nationwide. We got stuck in a real bad area for parking. But the thing that got me was when we go into Nationwide, you go a lot of places, they will take everything from you but a flashlight. So I literally watched a lady in front of me, and I'm like, I put Craig and everything started connecting dots. That this might be a really underrated self-defense tool that I don't think people think about. And then third thing is it can be a striking tool. I can put that and start unloading. So I think flashlights are really underestimated, and you probably use it more for other things that you realize with it. But don't get those little ones. You got to get one that kind of fits in the palm. It doesn't have to be the old police ones, but those would work really well with it. But something to think about with it. So the last thing we'll do when it comes to striking, before we get into the strangulation defense, is I call it punches and bunches. All right. So if all else fails and you can't remember to go for the eyes or the throat or the groin, it's pretty natural. We just start throwing punches and bunches. And we make tight fists. If you want open hand for this, it is perfectly fine. But when I talk about punches and bunches, I say make the tightest fist you can. And I even watched my grandchildren as they're growing. It's so natural. Eden still hits me with a closed fist because I think that's just natural. I think for some reason that's just embedded in us. We close our fist when we go to hit with it. I'm telling you to aim for the face as much as you can, but the main thing is what I'm saying is punches and bunches. And what becomes even more, and at every point this is very important, but especially when you're throwing punches, verbal commands. We are telling them what we want to happen. Stop. Get back. No. You have to verbally, and you have to say that. The louder you are, actually the stronger you become with those punches. And secondly, we want attention. We want people to see what's going on with it. and just going, ah! They might look this way, but I've heard this in court more than one time over the years. You were a witness to this. Well, why didn't you help? I just thought it was a domestic relations thing. I thought two people were getting a divorce. I don't want to know part of that. A lot of people think that. They think if it's just people just argue with one another, they want no part of that. So you have to yell those words that gets their attention. They might not run over to your aid, but maybe it's they're like 911. And yeah, listen to that. So even words like rape, fire, anything that draws attention to you, just because you're not being sexually assaulted doesn't mean you can't yell a word to get attention. I mean, there is a difference between being sexually assaulted, of course, and being choked, but the end result could be the same, is what I'm trying to get at. Someone puts their hands around your neck, they're trying to kill you. That's why I don't like to, I try not to use the word choke anymore. They're strangling you. I've said in 3 or 4 cases just in the last 2 months where people were indicted on strangulation charges, felony 2, felony 3s, because they're trying to take the life out of you. That's why it's that serious. That's just as serious, if not more serious, than someone trying to sexually assault you. So yelling those words to get attention is very, very important. Now, we're going to hit the pads, and we're just going to do basic. You're going to do 2 punches. You're going to punch straight, or you're going to hammer it. We're not going to get real fancy about it. I just want them to stay as straight as possible, and I'll demonstrate it. I want verbal commands. I only ask today you don't yell rape or fire here. So anything else is a go, but those 2 things. All right? So my hands are up. I'm talking. I hammer, 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 punch, 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 punch. And I'm just trying to drive them back, and we're going to look to get away with it. Okay? So tight fist, most important, and trying to keep everything in the straightest line as possible. We have a tendency when we start throwing straight punches, we think this is stronger. It's not. It's not stronger, and it's easier to block. It's easier to actually, most people just duck and you're not hitting anything. But straight punches are very hard, and we have a tendency to keep them in line. Like if he moves that pad low and I'm throwing straight, I follow the pad. But if I'm winging, he moves it low, there's nothing for me to hit. All right? So let's get partners, grab a shield of some sort. So, ready? Just come up to it, stand in front, and just hit as hard as you can. Yep. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Switch. Yep. Yep. Next person. Good. Good. Next. Good. Good. There you go. Yep. But did you see the difference from the first time you hit it to when you started giving some verbals to it? And you got to remember, someone's trying to attack you, no matter what it is. They don't want to work at it. I always say if criminals wanted to work at it, they just go get a job. but they don't. So, but the harder you become a harder target, they don't want to work that hard. They'll move on, unfortunately, to the next one. And that your goal is to get home safe. And that's the important thing. So the first one we're going to go into strangulation. The first one, a front choke or front attack. So he places my hands around my neck. All right? Always, no matter when someone's trying to strangle me, to a headlock choke, any type of attack around my neck, I tuck my chin. I'm trying to take as much pressure as I can. I'm trying, helps expand my neck some, but I'm trying to take the initial threat is when he comes in, as his thumbs are going around my windpipe. I got to worry about my blood being taken away. So I'm trying to tuck. I place a hand. I grab the wrist. The opposite hand will go straight up. So it doesn't make a difference. Straight up. So as I raise it straight up, my opposite of my hand is going to backstep. As I'm backstepping, I'm dropping my elbow down. So what you see is when I tuck my chin, raise my hand, he tries to pull that hand out. It's a little harder. I want that to be harder. I want those bones in this wrist to be under so much stress before I drop my elbow. That's where my damage is done with it. So when I'll let you see when he puts his hand down so as you can see, as I'm here, just look what it's doing when I bring it down. So when I put them together, up, and I step, and I bring it down with it. Remember our hammer? We can hammer, we can square up and punch, we can put our thumbs in his eyes, we can look to punch him in the throat. I can come across here, clear it out, and hit him in the groin. It doesn't, there's no wrong after with it. The damage you do is the damage you do, all right? So before we go into repping this with our partner in your spot right now, what I want everybody to do is just stand in their position, tuck the chin, pick a hand and raise it. I don't care which one. The opposite leg back steps and drops. That's it. So again, tuck the chin, raise the hand, and back step. Let's do the opposite side. Tuck the chin. You can grab, like I said, the wrist, raise it, back step with it. One more time. Tuck, grip, up, back. So when Ian comes in, up, step up, and bring it down. You can keep that wherever you want. You can let go. Like I said, you're looking to hit at that point. Okay? So let's go, our partner. Go 1 for 1. We'll build off this. 1 for 1. For realism into it, let's be honest. I've watched a lot of like CCTV cams, what I've seen in court and stuff. This doesn't usually happen. Usually happen. What are they going to do? They're taking you somewhere. I always like the best one I think about is when you're in between your car. They're going to pin you. They're going to take you somewhere. They're going to pin you against the wall. They want to move you. That's why it's important when I'm being choked and taken somewhere, this becomes my base. Because if I keep my feet together, down I go. All right? The thing you have to remember is, and especially since I have all women in this class, I will tell everyone, if someone comes up and says, hey, give me your purse. All right? Give me your wallet. Yeah, you give it. I give my wallet. I don't care. I've been doing this for 30 years. If it's that simple, it's just as easy that way. But the difference between you and me is not my experience. When a woman gives up something in a criminal's mind, and I've heard this, what else will she give up? What else can I get for that? So you have to have a different mindset about it when you're doing something. So always think about that. You could be doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing by giving it. But always think about you might have to have that fight in you. And that's where you have to be prepared for the next level with it. Same with escape here from being strangled. If you're giving a fight up, especially, they're just not going to sit there and try to squeeze you, that they're going to try to take you somewhere. Things are probably going to start escalating what their real objective probably is. All right. So when he comes in to choke, strangle, come in, I tuck my chin, I still grab, I step up, and I'm looking. I get this strong base. So even if I have trouble as he's strangling me and I'm coming, I can't get it, I'm not going down. It might take a couple of opportunities. I might have to hit him in the groin first and then come back to the technique. That's the other thing I want to make sure you understand between the striking and the escapes regardless. I wish, like I said, you're only going to have to do that one time. The death touch is a part of all these moves and they drop dead right there. No, it doesn't obviously work that way. All right. So adrenaline, there should be adrenaline. Someone's trying to hurt you. You're going to be scared a little bit, a little nervous. You should be with it. That's why it's important now. It's not about how fast you do any of this stuff. Take your time, because ideally, which won't happen like you want it, you want to slow it down too. When you're being, that's the part of training. The more you train, the more you learn how to control your breathing and trying to work through the problem that's in front of you. Easier said than done until someone's got their real hands around your neck and trying to do something. All right? That's why it's important to slow it down more. So with your partner, put the hands around the neck. Another thing is when you're doing this now, because we've done this a little bit, I'm not telling you have to strangle your partner, but please put the hands around the neck. This is just a good massage. All right? We don't want that. Give them a little bit of realism that be upset with me if you want. I want you to feel a little uncomfortable. It's just better to feel uncomfortable a little bit right now than later, because you're going to feel really, you want that shock to be like, I've never had this around me, around my neck like that. All right? So place it down. You don't have to squeeze. Okay? So take your time. For me, yes.
So, in my mind, if I thought that I was going to get strangled, and yes, it can happen anywhere, and I understand that, I'm likely going to be on the ground, or my back is going to be against the wall. Is it going to let me?
Yeah, we're getting to those.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
So when I teach the strangulations, I start from all standing positions, but you're roughly getting ready to see just about everything that I'm showing you standing, where you can practice the easiest. You can practice on a wall and on the ground with it. So yeah, we're getting there. And that's the ideal, like right now, you're being taken somewhere. They're trying to push you. Okay? Go ahead. Yeah. So the one thing I want you to do is, for me, when I practice the choke, the strangulation or the choke moves, is I like to count. So when someone's coming at me, I'm being pushed, 1, 2, 3. I have found in my head, if I give myself a definite number to finish, I will do that. And because once again, good people, no matter what, and I hear this all the time, you are still hoping for the best. I've complied. I'm telling him, I'm doing everything he is asking me. If he's just going to quit. I mean, you want the best still to happen with it. So when he's pushed me on 1, 2, 3, I pick my number. The very important part, if you decide that and you like that method, you have to pick a number under 5. I was at the KCH, did it for a bunch of nurses, and I literally hear her going 9, 10, 11. Like, what number did you pick? 15? Because you still are hoping that they'll just quit because you've complied. All right? So think about that. Go slow. Put some pressure around the neck and do the exact same moves, but you're just taking that wider step to make sure you can't. Now, I'll tell you, The harder you push, you will go forward a little bit. So I'm giving you a heads up. I've had people fall before, is what I'm getting at. So if I really get into Ian and I go to do this and I'm pushing him, I let go so I wouldn't go forward. I lose my balance because I'm taking shorter steps than his bigger step. And especially, I learned a value lesson that I used KCH because I had all these nurses and it was on carpet and they had tennis shoes on. We had a couple go down. Yeah. So I'm just giving you the heads up. So if you fall now, it's on video. So, all right. Go ahead. Yes. Very good. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
Right? It's almost like a dance.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Push, push, push. Up, 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 up. Good. So they've choked. They're strangling us. They're trying to take us somewhere. Once again, boom, to a wall. They're trying to pin us. So the real reason I want you to always think about being second nature to keeping this chin tuck. I mean, I've done jujitsu so long, they joke sometimes when I'm talking to people, I don't even realize I'm tucking my chin or it's just a habit of doing it. But the real reason why it's important is if we go to the ground, go to the wall, or any object is what? He's choked, come up, and I hit my head on that object. That's where a lot of damage is done with it, especially when you're being slammed to the ground, all right? Your head bounces off any type of hard surface. That itself could be game changer, lights out for it. But going to do the exact same thing as he's coming here, getting the strangle coming on, pushing in. I like to break fall a little bit, just smack my surface area, raise it, turn, and get out, all right? The exact same thing you've been doing. So again, he's pushing in, and then get out. Exact same thing. I don't get real fancy about this. I'm not trying to stop here. I'm just trying to break fall. I'm just trying to slow some impact down. It's not going to make him go brakes on, everything. The impact's still going to be there. You're just trying to lighten it up a little bit for you and help use that momentum to get to the next movement with it. All right? So one more time. We'll go slow. He's pushing me in. My head never touches. I'm still gripping, turning, and I'm just pushing him out of the way. Ideally is I can redirect him into it, or I just push and get out of the way. Something, don't overthink it, but something to think about when I would say I'm being strangled here and being pushed in. I know that's my exit, right? Ideally is I redirect in a shaky way I can run, not here where I gotta run around. Okay? So let's get against the wall, spread out, let's try it. Don't go too far out. Up, yes, and then push her away. Yes, yeah, that's good. Good, you just push her out of the way. Good. Time, the higher you raise your hand, the easier it becomes to break in the grip, to redirecting the grip. When we get here, we get kind of tangled up at the end, even if we break it. So the higher you go, the less muscle I use, and the easier for me to maneuver. Yes. So go ahead and try it again, just a few more times. Questions on it? So we can get off the wall now. Come back in.
Once you figure out what you're doing.
But what I want you to kind of notice, like right now, it's basically one movement for a couple different ways of being choked. All right? Strangled, choked, however you want to word it. But that's the ideal. The less your brain has to calculate something and it can go into like that instinct mode, that's where your safety becomes much better with it. We teach karate, and I have I'm a 6th-degree black belt in karate with it. But if you're not going to commit a lifetime to karate, it's hard to make it work when it comes to reality-based types of self-defense applications, because you got to learn a couple hundred techniques. So when the last thing you need when someone's got their hands around your neck trying to squeeze the life out, you're like, okay, wait, no, 7 would probably work technique better than 15. But I really like technique 32 with that, and we don't realize, but our brain actually does that though. It tries to run down this list of checking what's the best while you're trying to figure out, why is this person trying to choke the life out of me with it. So if you can keep them simple and least amount possible, especially if you have a limited amount of time to train, that's where your safety becomes a lot better for you. So I like to show from the last one standing from the side. Comes in from the side. And the reason I like to show from the side, the second statistic that most people don't realize, most crimes, and the 70%, there's some who say 70 to 80, depends, happen with 2 people. That most criminals don't just go commit the crime on their own. They usually have a second person with them. And a lot of times it can be simply just a getaway car. It could be like, especially, it's really people who are trying to steal, shoplift, and stuff like that. They usually have a person waiting for them, but a lot of times it's a high probability there's a second person with them. So that's why I like to show the side. I'll use Kristen here. She could be sitting here just sidetracking me for him. And then out of the blue, boom, he comes in from the side. Or we've got into it and I'm getting the better. It's not supposed to that way. So that's why they have a second person to make sure if their partner's getting beat, they got a safety valve to help them get out of trouble. All right. So that's most generally, and when you see multiple attackers is when this takes place. So same thing, he comes in, I'm always tucking my chin, grip, all right? And I'm not grabbing here. This is even more important. I am gripping where I'm putting my elbow as close to my body as possible because I want this to be an anchor now. If Ian goes to choke me like right now, go ahead and squeeze. I'm going to try to pull it off. Go ahead. He thinks he's stronger than me, but he's not. But it comes in with it, right? The same thing. Tuck my chin. I anchor it to my body. Go ahead and squeeze in. Because now, like I've told you, he's having his one arm against my whole body. Now, I'm not sitting here and giving you a false sense of security and saying I can hold that for the next 7 to 9 minutes, which is the response time of most law enforcement to get here. I'm not telling you it works that well. It works initially, so it gives me an opportunity to go what I need to do. So he comes in, get close, lower my level. I might want to soften them up first. They're groin. But then I step, just a little step. I raise my hand and I clear it out. If I want to hit him after the fact, that's fine. All right? If he's pushing me here, come step, clear. Look to square up, hit wherever you need to do with it. Same exact thing you've been doing, but I'm just stepping back. Some of you might not have to even step back. I just don't have the flexibility anymore. So some of you might be able to wing it through. That's fine. But I found out you have more power, more here if I go to clear it out. All right? So choke, strangle from the side. Hand, other hand.
Oh, okay.
Now bring it up and go towards me.
All right.
That's it. Good.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. And hand up. Now come towards me. Run and get away. That's it.
That's me. Yeah. All right, ready? I'm coming in. Tuck your chin.
Gus, to slow down. That's good. We'll make it a little better for you. So go ahead and choke her. So now grab here, what I want you to do is anchor that to you. Yes. Now bring it up. Now come towards me. See the difference when?
Yeah.
Yes. You just. Yes. And now she has to battle your whole body instead of just your. Yes. So we're going to just take a little bit of we're going to go to something a little bit different, and then I'll come back to obviously this. I want you to do it again before we go. The next thing is we're going to do is someone grabs a hold of you, all right? You're getting pulled or tugged into. So, let's start this one. You can see right away what's the weakest link of this whole grip, where the thumbs are, right? So I always say, regardless, no matter how strong you are, maybe you can physically get out of this, but let's make it the easiest possible, is I like to make a fist, all right? My whole goal now is to go elbow to elbow. So for me to go elbow to elbow, I can do it like this. He gets a good grip, and I don't move, and it's still going to work. But what gets me out of the line of danger, because he's pulling me this way, if I take a step with it, and I'm not in front of him. Remember, we never want to be in front of the center line or on the X with it. I make a fist because if he's really strong, I grab my fist and I rip it out. And right there, it's like a coil. It's just coming right out at that point. All right? The reason I like for people to make a fist, because most generally, this is how it's going to work. Ian goes to pull me in. I give him resistance. It's going to go to two hands, right? He's not going to keep with one. I make the fist. Same movement to break a two-handed grip, which is probably what's going to happen. Okay? It's probably what's going to happen. So, once again, fist, step out of the way. And it doesn't make a difference. Right now, we're doing just a same side grip or a two-handed grip. So I don't want you gripping yet across. That's something a little bit different, all right? We want same side or two-handed. I don't care, but make that fist. If you're having trouble, you're probably not taking the step when you're pulling it, ripping it out, okay? And it's important that we do it this way. When I first started, the Israelis, they would teach here, go and grip both hands. I grip it, and I rip it out straight. And I'm like, it works. I'm not telling you it doesn't work. But what happened in one of the classes? Ripped it out. They punched themselves. So that's why we switched to grip and rip low. So you don't do that. I think it would be awful to think that you were able to escape, but then broke your own nose, watered your eyes, and you couldn't get away because you hurt yourself. Okay? So do single and double. All right, go ahead and try it.
Does it matter if the person grabs me
No.
overhand or if the person
Does not.
It doesn't
Nope.
matter either way.
Either way. Because of that fist and your grappling. Yep. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, let's take one of my training was they bring oranges and they'd make us shove our thumb through oranges because they said it feels the exact same way as an eyeball. Yeah, and I believe them because most of those guys, 20-year veterans on the West Bank, so they've probably done it. So yeah, but because they said the skin is like someone closing their eyelid,
Okay.
and you just keep on pushing it through. One hand. This would not work for two hand. All right. He can grip as hard as he wants. Go ahead and grip hard. Don't let me break the grip. Don't see. I can't get this way. Sometimes you can just hit it off too. All right. So, but obviously two hand. But if I show everybody that, they'll never do anything else. So that's why I don't show that one first. So he cross grips here. All right. Instead of you make the fist, I like to make the knife, and I just got. Remember, I don't want to stay here. I just got to step off. All right. It's the way I want to leave. Obviously, if I pull this way to try to do it, he's blocking me. I just got to leave. All right. But you can make a fist. Doesn't matter. I think it's a little stronger with it open. All right. But that's all you're doing. You're here, pulling it, stepping here. Yes. Okay. Go ahead and try it. How you're doing it.
That works for.
So you grab my.
Oh, okay.
Grab.
Oh, it doesn't have to be as large.
Yeah, you can go. You're chopping it
Chopping.
at the end.
Okay, so try the chop. So if I'm grabbing you, get out of me.
Just
Okay.
do.
So then
No.
I go up
Opposite. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. See,
go down.
usually you don't have to. It'll let go like.
Sort of chop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a chop.
Is that what you're gonna do? Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. This is usually a question. I just go ahead and answer it now. Usually I get this question. What about behind? What if they have me behind? All right. I have two ways I can break it. The first way, you have to be very, very cautious when you're with your drill partner. Because no matter how hard Ian holds me back, if I go back and I'm being very soft right there, I would be exploding into him. And why you have to be careful when you drill this, because what we have trouble controlling is our head. We usually go back. So if I see an accident, you know where I'm going to see it at is right there. So that's why I tell people just to go close and kind of cheat and go forward, and you'll get the ideal. Did anybody play basketball? Check them out. And it will take the wind out of them. But if you don't know to check, you can just the whole body goes in, and you, like I said, it's just a natural action that goes backwards. All right? And I'm going to have you try either one of these. You can either do that, or I can just step to the side. Where's my hand? Yes. No matter where, because I want more grandchildren, I'll put my hand over here, and I'm going to hit Ian's leg, and he's not going to let me. Don't let me. You can't stop that. So pick a side. Doesn't matter. Step to the side. There it is. Then I have the headbutts and foot stomps and everything else. But that's the spot you turn to. So pick one of those two. All right?
Trying to actually get away from somebody pushing forward and getting out, or
It's and I think they're fairly equal. It comes down to you. Like some people just feel more comfortable exploding backwards. Others just want to step. Height, size of everything. I mean, more than likely, if you have a guy at 6'5" and you're 5 foot, exploding might work, but obviously you're headbutting his chest and not his face. So it's just stuff like that with it. But regardless, no matter what, if I explode here, still have the same strikes that I had with the other one. But pick, go slow, don't hurt anybody. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
So to do the side one,
Uh-huh.
she's got, of course, the back straight, but now to the side.
So we're gonna go back to finish up with a quick review of the strangulation with it. I like to call it like a stress test, give you an idea. So we're gonna go right back to the first one. Everybody remember? Here, he raises one, steps through, right? So that's all we're gonna do. Wants to go back, partner. He's gonna go ahead and step through, break it. But let's add something to it. The person being strangled has to close their eye. Yes. So when I come up to him, I can do whatever I want. And then, boom, they go in at him. All right. Now, if you guys didn't see, Ian opened his eyes after I put my. You can open your eyes once they put their hands on your throat. Okay? But I want you to play a little bit like that with them. I don't care if your partner knows you're going to also do the side, but I prefer it just in the front. But I want you to, get close. And boom! And then you're looking. You should feel a little bit of a butterfly. And that's giving you a little hint what's to come. Like if someone's trying to bother you. All right? So go one for one and choke someone. I might use Mel. I'm going to demo Mel. I'm going to go get one of those pads and I just want to show it. I don't want to. Hey, buddy. I'm just grabbing some over here. Just do it, Charles.
What?
Whatever.
Get older.
Just do it. You are, man. Really? Give you so that's one of the drills we'll do every now and then in class, stuff like that. Sometimes I'll have you close your eyes but spin in a circle for so long, which kind of makes it feel like that's when someone hits you, like especially on the side of the head or something, gives you that uneasiness. So how do I recover from that? So we're not going to do it today, but to show you what we go to, like the next, like this is like the first part of like our. Some people like to get certified, but we have like certificates and stuff like that. But next level with it, I don't like to do this in our first class. I just like to give you, if you want to come to the next one. But most generally, when we're talking strangulations too, someone said it earlier. What happens to I'm going to be on the ground. They're going to take me around. Sexual assaults don't probably happen standing up. They happen on the ground. So when they've determined that's what they want to do, they're going to do whatever they can to get you to the ground. So what we do a little bit different is I'm going to show you how we would practice on the mat a little bit so you get the understanding and the fundamentals of it. But ideally I use a crash pad because, like I said earlier, 70+% of the people that will attack you, just as well as a sexual assault, more than likely you know your attacker. Might not be like this close friend or intimate friend that you're thinking about, but they some way know you. And no different, most of those that I've seen is most often those happen either still in a bed, back of a car, or a couch. All three of those surfaces, especially two of those three, aren't a mat with a hard surface that gives you better footing and mobility. You think about a couch, it's not just soft. We'll put this up against the wall because you can't go both ways to escape, right, from a couch. Bed, you might have a little bit more leadway, but that's the stuff we do. So I'm going to use Mel here. So she gets down. So just like this, just like a bed. See how you start to sink down in. So you have so much more leverage when you're on a mat surface. So when I come in, it's the same base. I'm choking her. She's going to get control. She bucks me to get control, and my arms to the surface. She claps. Now she does the buck all over it again, and then looks to get out. All right. So again, it looks like a lot, but you're doing the same movements over and over. Now, remember what we did earlier. If she needs to, she has a lot of opportunity from when I come here. As I'm choking her, when she holds in and she goes to buck me, if I don't let go, I face plant. So that's her opportunity. So I actually come out, maybe as she goes to grab my arm, this one doesn't work, maybe she goes to the other one. She has trouble with it. This one of these hands goes right to my eye, thumb right to my eye. Then she comes right back, and then she looks for her escape. All right? So it might not be ideal with it. This way, go full force. We'll go 100%. All right, I'll try 100%. You ready? So I get here. Come on, good. It's good. Very good. But what I want you guys to see, we get caught up in, we gotta go fast, 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 fast. She started that way. You guys couldn't hear it. She took a breath, went right into her mode, and went at it. So it's not always about the speed. It's trying to stay as focused, which is not easy, as you can, and keeping yourself as controlled as you can, and doing what you know what you need to do with it. And stress is stress. It's hard with it. So I just want everybody, I want you to give you an idea. This is what the next level of our training, we try to take it even more to another level about making it even more practical with it. To even we will do certain drills, and I'll place objects so you can go grab it, like say a yoga block. You can start hitting your person, and that could be a lamp, that could be a book, that could be whatever's in your house with it, so you understand what your improvised weapons are. Questions on anything, guys? So the last thing before I give it over to Ian is what I like to also, the third and final thing, I think it's important. We got awareness, avoidance. We also have physical techniques. But then the third, I call it, we have our spirit. And I think that's another word saying our mindset, spirit. And I think it's important. I always tell a story. When I went to my defensive tactics training for my bailiff academy, they told me to bring a picture, a little picture of something that's important to you. So I brought a picture of my wife and my son, and they made me hang it on the front of me. And every day we would go through these tactics, they would try to take that from me. And if they took it, I had to walk over and hang it on a wall. It said funeral with it. So it put the mindset into you right away as I have something important. We all have something very important to live for. You are important, and you can never forget that. When you say that you can't do it, yes, you can. We have something to live for every day, and we must never forget that. Someone loves you, even though sometimes we feel like maybe not, we get caught in those ruts, but someone loves you, and you have a reason to go home. And every day they would make us say is, I'm going home. So before I started every class as a group, I'm going home. And I had that picture, and we would say that during the training when they would be coming at us, hitting at us and trying to take it. I'm going home, I'm going home. And I never had my picture taken whatsoever. And get that in your heads now with it. We've seen it hundreds of times. Go YouTube, moms pick up car off child to get the child back. That physically shouldn't be possible, but it is when you need it to be. And you always got to remember that to you. You are important. You are important to somebody, and you're always going home. Never forget that. I thank you for coming. I hope you got something out of it, and hope you come back to some of the future ones. So.
Yeah, thank you.